Hey everybody, welcome back to Legacy of the Duelist. We're here in basically the back half of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and we're gonna get a plot dump here because they skipped over 30 episodes of this goddamn show. So, Trudge has an issue that he only can come to Yusei with, and it's that there's a dude with amnesia, and he wants Yusei to take care of him. Why? Because this show's dumb. That's why. But they found this amnesiac was working on Jack's motorcycle, and they're like, yo, why are you doing that? I don't really know why this sequence of storyline is here. I mean, maybe to remind people this was the introduction of the character Bruno, maybe, but I don't see it being very necessary given this game is the master of, you know, cutting every corner it can. In fact, I feel like the only reason that Bruno's in this storyline is to basically advertise the DLC that is to be coming out, or that has come out, that wraps up 5Ds, which we will be covering. Basically, Bruno comes in, and the stuff he does to the motorcycle makes it better, and all kinds of other stuff. Yusei ends up building a relationship with Bruno because they're both nerds, they're both these, you know, tech junkies, and he ends up being part of the pit crew for their Team 5Ds, in the World Riding Grand Prix that we're about to participate in. They're basically trying to make a super hyped up engine so they can have the edge at the tournament. And then, the tournament arrives after they skip a shit ton of stuff. But that doesn't matter. We have to take on Team Unicorn, denoted by the fact that one of them has a horn hair thing. So, let's talk about a few things here. I wanted to explain how the WRGP works because it was an interesting concept in how they executed it on the show. It is a series of duels, team duels, basically. It is 3v3. Each character starts with 4,000 life points. When they run out, the next person on their team comes in and duels the opponent in whatever field they happen to have at the time, and you would have the same field you had. So Yusei, you know, could use whatever was in the graveyard when, say, Crow or Jack had lost their duel when he goes up. So basically, you can use the resources left behind by your friends or partners to advance things, which led to a lot of Yusei using the power of bonds by using his friend's cards that he used a long time ago, and it leads to a lot of interesting team plays, and I thought it was a really good way to, you know, allow characters like Yusei to duel in every important match ever. Just ever. Now, in this situation, I believe Jack and Crow have already lost, and Yusei has to defeat all three of these guys in a row. Why? Because Team Unicorn specialized in teamwork. Like, that's it. They specialized in teamwork, and that teamwork led to them basically trying to destroy Team 5Ds, which almost works until it doesn't, which I'll talk about that when we face the final opponent of Team Unicorn. That's pretty cool. What I did want to talk about is how this LP is going to be capped off. I've been thinking about this for a while, and we're probably going to be ending the LP, at least for now, on, you know, for the long foreseeable future, once 5Ds ends. I wanted to explain myself a little bit as to why I'm probably going to be ending the LP before I end up doing something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Zale or Zexal. And the reason's kind of simple, to be honest. I haven't seen Zexal's full run. In fact, I've seen very little of it. I've seen a couple of episodes of the dub, the first maybe 3 or 4 episodes of the original Japanese version, and maybe like a random episode just out of morbid curiosity a few months ago. I mean, I know some of the plot relevant stuff, like eventually dueling people on the moon and going to different dimensions, and the fact that they have villains such as Dr. Faker and Dawn Thousand. There's like aliens that don't have a mouth. I don't have much there, but I feel like what makes this Let's Play a lot better is that I'm talking about things that I have watched and have enjoyed extensively, which are Gens 1, 2, and 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I kind of fell off watching the show in an anime capacity around after 5Ds, because, I don't know, it just kind of happened. I mean, I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The original one, you know, back in 2000, 2001, every Saturday morning and on weekday afternoons on like the WB, and I enjoyed that immensely, and that ended up finishing its run, and then I watched GX, which was still on TV, and I watched half of that show's run on TV, and then eventually watched the rest of it online, and then eventually subtitled because of the 4Kids dub for that. And 5Ds I paid very little attention to until it was about at the end of the Dark Signer arc. Or it was just past it. It just started the season that this game skipped. And I caught up on that and ended up liking it more than the other two series. But, I don't know, I just kind of... I just feel it was something that I would just watch. And, I don't know, I just kind of just stopped. I think the thing is I stopped and I didn't find Zexal as, you know, engaging as the other shows in their intro. I mean, I didn't watch 5Ds in the beginning, but going back and properly watching it, I'm like, this is a good start. And going and watching Zexal, for example, it was not a strong start at all. The other thing is that people are wondering, what about the Arc 5 content for Legacy of the Duelist? And to be quite honest, what they have on offer is really bad, in my opinion. Can I make anything? No, I can't. All I got is Stardust Dragon because this game fucking hates my guts. It's gonna take a lot of work to get something here. We'll set that. But, Arc 5 has a really bad offering in this game because it basically, the DLC controls Arc 5, as far as I can tell. I did a quick search, and as far as my reach search tells me, we have one... Oh no. Me just summoned Thunder Unicorn. As far as I can tell, all the Arc 5 content, which is the 5th series of Yu-Gi-Oh! It has one duel available at launch when this game came out. And then you can get an additional duel for that story mode for every $5 worth of DLC you get. Like, there's a duel in every pack. And I'm like, man, this game is barely worth the $15 I put in to the DLC for the first 3 series. But to get one duel out of $5, like, no, I can wait until that series develops a bit more and a new game comes out if they want to do something similar to this again. I know they plan on putting out another series, another like Yu-Gi-Oh! Modern game for the current generation of consoles, and I don't see myself shying away from it. I can see myself easily doing it if it has some sort of story mode that is worth jumping into, but as it stands, I feel like I've done all I kind of am willing to do, at least for this style of LP. I mean, from the thumbnails to everything, I kind of feel like this LP is just mainly about me talking about the anime and all that kind of stuff, and I have no connection with Zexal. I just found, from what I can tell, the first 40 or 50 episodes of it is just this ridiculous amount of filler content until it starts getting engaging. Though I have seen some screenshots and some descriptions about aliens with no mouth, and that sounds cool, and it seems like it eventually gets to this point where it is a cool thing to watch, but I feel like it takes a little bit too long to get there. I mean, GX is also guilty of this. GX has a fairly big problem of the first 40 episodes, unless you're really into the card game and the characters that they have there. Not that great until, you know, maybe 40 episodes in, with the Shadow Rider stuff starts kicking up, and the story starts to have a plot instead of here's the duel of the week. I mean, what's interesting about Yu-Gi-Oh's original show is that it didn't really focus on doing a monster of the week type of thing. It kind of did, but there was always this focus. The first arc of Yu-Gi-Oh was, yo, they're doing a tournament. They're going to defeat Pegasus in Duelist Kingdom, but then they would fight the zombie guy, or the bug guy, or the dinosaur guy along the way. With GX, it was, you're gonna fight the Yugi copy guy, the Jinzo guy, the food guy, the Moki Moki guy. You're gonna fight those, but there's no real plot progression, and if there is, it's so slight that there's no overlying goal in it. I'm not the biggest fan of monster of the week types of things, unless it's executed well enough, and I feel like that didn't really engage me. From what I've talked to people, it sounds like that's kind of what's going on with that, with the only goal is collecting the special Exceed monsters in Zexal to help repair the spirit character in that Astral. But unfortunately, if I come in the future and if I end up watching that series, I will happily jump back onto this game and go through its campaign. But I feel like what really makes this LP, in my opinion, better is when I do this, when I talk about the various things in the anime. And the reason I'm deciding to talk about why I'm doing my opinions and why I'm gonna stop this LP and kind of make it have a nice finale at the end of 5Ds on this episode is because I don't fucking remember anything about Andre besides the fact that he was the one that looks like the unicorn and he uses bicorn. From here, we're gonna activate this little ditty, Stronghold Guardian. This adds his defense to my monster's defense. Oh, what's this? We can do it twice? Well, by all means. There, burn him for 2,000. Activate the effect of Stardust. Bring him back to the field. In case you're wondering, Yusei may or may not use that card, that Stronghold Guardian, in a critical moment to chip someone out. More on that when we face Jean. At least, in case they still call him Jean. Because goddammit, who knows what they fucking rename some of these characters. Because that is something that the dub fucking destroys, in my opinion, is we gotta rename all the characters. Like, no you don't. They had perfectly fine names before. I am going to backup work. Cannot be normal summoner set, must be special summon while you're the only monsters you control are 2 peasants. Oh. Yuck. And the only thing I have is Stardust. What a shitty ass duel they've given me. And they're probably going to give me different synchros on the next duel. And if they do, that's bullshit. That kind of breaks the canon of this. You say can't switch out decks? Whatever, let's take out his ace monster with Stardust. I guess another thing I could talk about is the fact that I'm going to link in the description the 4th opening of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. 4th opening is probably the best one they did, which is Believe in Nexus. Which I believe when I looked it up, Nexus has something to do with friendship. I'm gonna go ahead and look it up. Because what the fuck else would Nexus mean when you're supposed to believe in it? Let's see. Nexus, a noun, a connection or series of connections linking two or more things. So when you think about it, the Nexus is a connection. The connection of people that you say meets from every walk of life. You gotta believe in these connections. You've gotta believe in friendship. And it's done by Masaki Endo, which, if you don't know, does... you may have heard him in various anime that use the band Jam Project at any point. So, One Punch Man's opening is... you can hear him in that, for example. And, yeah, he's really good. And, I was blown away at how action-packed and cool that opening is in general. And it's really, it cements this part of the series as the high point for me, because it does something different because I will say the one thing that every Yu-Gi-Oh series, at least the first three, did was there has to be an arc where you're fighting an opposition that has to make the world look dark. And that's something you'll just notice in Yu-Gi-Oh! And GX and 5Ds. Like there's the Shadow Realm stuff. There's the Night Shroud stuff and the Shadow Riders in GX, and 5Ds has the Dark Signer arc. But really the villains that we are given in 5Ds in this back half, which are revealed to be the ultimate mustache-twirling puppet master villains of the whole show, are Iliaster, these three Emperor-like characters that use these Mech Lord monsters, and their theme is just white, this white, bright, and also mechanized, like, theme to them, and, I just really like that, and they talk a lot about, like, there's a lot of mentions of, yo, did God give you this card? Was this the work of God? And how and the fact that they don't get their monsters normally, they get their monsters by a large stone tablet falling from space and landing. And then they're like, okay, here, my card has finally arrived. It's really fucking stupid, but I quite enjoy it. But I like the difference in that. I guess you could say the whole brighter motif for villains can be compared to, say, the Society of Light, but this one's a lot different because it's less brainwashing here and more. It's more we're going to win and we're gonna duel so much until our big plan comes in. Because I believe at this point in the series they're establishing, yo, this tournament is important because the more people duel, the closer the thing they are trying to summon comes into view. And they keep a pretty tight lid on it until the dub ends. Until the portion where the dub ends up quitting out, which is the final match of this tournament. They don't really talk about it, so I'm probably going to get into that a little bit more in the finale video, but we still have a ways to go before that. I'm trying to think of a way to win this duel quickly, and so far it doesn't look like it's going to happen for a good bit here. I'm going to put these into attack mode just because I want to get some damage in. Can I kill this? I can. And it doesn't have an effect. Okay, from what I can tell, this asshole's running beasts, and I haven't run into many Nimble Momongas yet, which I was kind of waiting for because that's the kind of crap that I despise. In these AI-controlled Yu-Gi-Oh games, whenever you're fighting the CPU and they run Momonga, it's like, oh great, you're just gonna stall for the next 10,000 years. It's like, that's what I'm waiting for. This one's gonna be it. No, it's a bubonic vermin. What the fuck's a okay, it's just a Momonga. Basically, it's a monster of, oh, a beast. You hid one? Well, another one's gonna come out of the woodwork now. Eat shit. Let me guess, this one's gonna flip, it's gonna pop, it's gonna summon, and even worse than anything I could imagine right now, I have no way to actually kill the third one because my other monsters match it in attack. Like, disgusting. I said a lot of words. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forces me to talk a little bit more than I am used to for these videos. Alright, now let's kill this last one. Because really, he has no combo in his deck, as far as I can tell, that would be able to take me down at this point. He tries to get out his big monster, and that's kind of all he has. At this point, it's just him stalling and delaying the inevitable, and the inevitable is next turn. Yep, and here we are. Alright, so we're going to attack directly and finish things up. Yusei was able to take out Andre, but there's still like 2 other dudes, so fuck off. We got more duels to do. Which would be Edge of Elimination Part Dos. You heard me. Part Dos. Anyway, next time on Legacy of the Duelist, we will try and get both of these duels out of the way in one episode. Yeah, we'll do that. Unless one of them takes forever. Yeah, I wanted this to just be one video because I did plan on talking about why we are going to be ending off once we finish the rest of these duels, which there are... Oh god, that silhouette. We don't have many duels left. Oh god, they skipped that. Fuck off. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna keep the anger in. Gonna hold it back. And next time, we will take on the other 2 members of Team Unicorn. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.